So quite often in life, well, quite often the things that get us agitated or get us off from feeling happy and content are it's all exterior things. It's things that are happening out there that we're attached to in some way. But the things that really get us off center is when we get upset about things that we have no control over. Somebody makes a decision. It could be the weather. It could be something that someone says. A coworker or your boss does something at work. There are things outside of your control. And so the more you feel out of control with your life, the more stressed you're going to feel, right? So the key is, how can you reduce things that are out of your control and focus more on things that are in your control? Joe, I remember, brought up how he has a morning routine that whether he feels like doing it or not, he just does it. It creates the foundation for his day. Affirmations, of course, are part of that. But even something simple that you are just a feeling that I'm in control of my life. I can choose when to do the morning. I can choose to do whatever routines are healthy for me. I can choose the response that I have. I may not like what somebody said or did, but I get to choose my response. So that's within your control. So how can you focus more on things that are in your control and worry less and let go of, like the Serenity Prayer says, the things that you can't? All right.
Oh my gosh, it's so, especially like in holiday season, when you have families that are coming together and like all of these things, like there's so many things to coordinate, right? And some of the things are out of your control, and definitely there's so much that's out of your control, and so your ability to release those things and to not attempt to control them. Right, attempting to control them is going to cause you a lot of stress.
Right.
A lot of stress because they cannot be controlled. So it's not going to work out for you anyway. It's just going to create more tension within your own body. Letting go of that and just surrendering and trusting the universe. I know you hear it all the time, like, trust the universe, trust that God's got your back, trust that everything's always working out for you. Well, it is. It is. They're just not bumper sticker slogans. It's real. Everything is always working out for you, right? Even the things that don't even feel good or look good or whatever, it's still always working out for you, because if you can bring your awareness to look at what's happening and learn from it, rather than thinking that if you can just learn from what's happening, there's a whole nother dynamic that will occur. Right? It takes the stress out of it. So like, there were so many things that I couldn't control this weekend. So many things. And I had to actually just kind of let go. I told Bob, I said, I'm just letting go. I'm just going to be in the moment. Today, Thursday, is all about gratitude. I'm just going to be thankful for anything and everything and however it shows up, because I don't have any control over what's going to happen. I don't have any control over what people are going to do or what they're going to say or how they're going to interact with each other. I don't have any control over any of that. Right? But what I do have control over is how am I responding to this? So that's response able to respond. I'm able to respond. And so you get to take that moment where you're just like looking at it rather than reacting, you're responding. It's a totally different emotion. It's a totally different feeling, right? And so know that you don't have control over things. Actually, when you just kind of release any kind of notion of that, you begin to have a miraculous experience. I can't explain it, but it's like everything just really is wonderful.
And along with that, like a lot of times when people act out, they say something that we perceive as being rude or offensive or whatever, our gut reaction is to react, and certainly there are situations where you need to set boundaries. You show people how you deserve to be treated, and you want to be firm with that. But sometimes we react to things that when somebody is just in an upset mood. So instead of thinking, oh, how rude of them, that jerk, actually have compassion and think to yourself, wow, this person is in so much pain. They're hurting so much from something going on inside of them that they feel the need to lash out in this way. Man, I really feel sorry for them. Instead of you having to take on the burden of that anger or that whatever that what they're expressing in that moment, you don't have to own it. You don't have to wear it or consume it, embody it, observe it, and go and have with compassion. Well, I feel so sorry for them that you are hurting so much. You don't have to say this necessarily because it might make them more mad, but in your head you process it.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't say that.
That
You're just
way.
having just like deep compassion. Everybody's struggling. We have no idea what people are going through.
Right.
We have no idea what people's personal journey is.
Because if you think about it, you've had situations where you were just frustrated and you lashed out, and later you went, "Man, I don't know what I was thinking. And you apologized for that."
Right.
And so yeah. So
Did you ever see that video that they had a while back ago where the guy gets on the bus with a bunch of kids? And they're all unruly and they're just climbing all over the everything. And the dad is just sitting there just kind of staring off into space. And the people around him are like judging him and like, oh my gosh, this guy doesn't know how to take care of his kids and blah, blah, blah. Da, 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 da. And oh my, he's just letting these kids run amok and he has no control. And look, he's not even paying any attention to them. And somehow somebody said something to him and he kind of looked up out of a fog and he goes, oh, he says, I'm sorry. He goes, oh, we're just coming back from the hospital and their mother just died. And I guess this is how they're dealing with it.
Mm.
Now, doesn't that just change your whole perspective? I mean, even like all the hair on my head just went, wing. Doesn't that just change your whole perspective of what that man is going through? He's probably trying to figure out what he's doing with these. Now he's got these 5 kids. His partner has just left. And what is he going to do? And the kids, they just don't even know how to integrate that information, like the reality of what's just happened.
Mm.
So you don't know. You don't know what somebody's going through.
I've also heard the story about like somebody will cut you off in the road, and you want to give them a piece of your mind, so you follow them so you can pull over and yell at them or whatever, and then they end up pulling up to the emergency room at a hospital because something,
Yeah, they're taking their child who's been hit by a car.
Yeah, or something. Yeah.
And you're just like totally devastated, and then don't you just feel like, so you don't know.
Yeah, and those are extreme examples, of course.
So
but
you
just never know what someone's going through.
So this would be my opportunity to say to you, stop taking things so damn personally.
Mm-hmm.
They're not personal. They're not personal. Stop taking it so personally. Oh my gosh. It's just unbelievable. Like the things that when we start taking things personally, we can totally just screw things up royally. Mm-hmm. It's not about you. Sometimes people are just going through things and they're having a hard time and they just don't know how to be in the world. And so their edges are kind of spiky.